Hey guys, I actually got about, I don't know, 4 or 5 different projects going at one time right now. I'm trying to reduce down my rinse waters so I can get them poured in my concentration bucket up here. I don't know if you can see that, but we actually have our 4th drop filtered. I'm fixing to go ahead and get started on 5 and 6. I actually needed this beaker because I was cleaning out my silver cell. So, and I'm melting some copper to use to drop these next several batches of silver. I'm actually going to pour some copper like flat bars to use for that. So I will get right back at you as soon as I get these two going. I can't actually use the burners right now because we have old silver fired up melting some copper. So we will get back at you in just a few. Okay guys, I'm going to actually go ahead and get this nitric measured out for these last 2 silver refines of Derek's. As you can see, we are breaking into about another $100 bottle of nitric acid. So I'm figuring I'm going to need about 200 mils for the little one. So we'll go ahead and pour that 200 mils into these beakers because they pour much better than trying to pour stuff out of this bottle, because these are very poor designs to be pouring such nasty stuff. I don't know if you can see that, but it drips and runs down the bottle. So you always have to wipe them off. But anyway, that is for our thin rounds, and we're going to need about 600 mils. I'm going to start with 500 for our heavier rounds. So let me set these aside. Go ahead and seal off our new $100 bill. And I'm going to get set up, and we're going to start adding our acids to our contacts. So I will be back at you in just a sec. Okay, we are ready to start adding our acids. Now both of these burners are actually, or warmers are off because I currently have the furnace going. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these started, and then we will turn the burners up afterwards when we get our copper ingots poured for dropping our silver. So let me get a couple of, I believe this one will work on here. Nope, too small. So we will put this one on here. We're going to go ahead and add our acid, some acid to our bigger batch. And like I said, we're going to just let these slowly work until I'm done doing my other chores that I need to do. And we will go ahead and put a cover on this one. And we're going to let these guys go for a while, and we will get back at you guys in a bit. Okay guys, we got our little copper bars made. I think I figured I was going to need somewhere around 5 ounces of copper to drop this next, or batch 4's drop, and I'll probably need 5 or 6 ounces to drop this one. But anyway, this is what we made. So we have our little copper plates that I'll use instead of using a coil. and that's what we will do. So these, I haven't added any more acid to them yet. I just turned the heat on, so I'm going to let them warm up a little bit. I got everything set back up, got my acids moved over, got my furnace moved out of the way. You just don't want to be heating up stuff around nitric acid. It's not, you know, that hot anyway. But anyhow, so I'm going to let these play out for a little bit, and I'm going to try and get set up to start this drop. I need to find actually a 2-liter container, and I am having a problem doing that. I've got 1500s and I've got 1800s, and I'm thinking I might can get away with just a big canning jar. But anyway, we'll get right back at you in a little bit. Okay, it has been probably a good hour since I started these. Both of them are looking good. I'm not seeing any discolorations I don't like. Our reaction is nice and slow and easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go ahead and add a little bit more acid to these. Perk them up a little bit. And just let them do their thing. So give me just a second. I'm going to transfer you over here to batch 4, which is up on the shelf. We are going to use one of our nice little copper bars that we made to drop the silver in these, because there should be quite a bit. So I may have to use 2 or 3 of those, but we're going to go ahead and start with one. So let me get this camera reset up and we'll be right back at you. And we're going to go ahead and put our first copper bar in and just let it go. Okay guys, I just put a bit more acid in these. They are going fine. Everything is looking good. Our bar of copper is dropping our silver off very nicely. So I am just in a holding pattern now, basically just waiting on stuff to finish. You guys have already seen all this half a dozen times or more, so we're going to finish these out. I'll finish this drop out, do a weigh-in. I actually have to go back to work tomorrow, so I'm just going to let this continue on through the night as with these. When this gets finished, we'll rinse and clean everything and we'll do our final weigh-in, and that will be that. So I will get back to you when all of this material has dropped, when these have completed and been dropped and everything is dried and ready to weigh. Like I said, there's no point in going over it over and over and over. We're just doing the same thing. So I will get back to you guys when we are ready to do the final weigh-in. So we will see you. I'll be back working on this in about 3 or 4 days, and you'll be seeing me again in about a couple of seconds. So back at you in a bit, guys. Okay, guys, I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm just going to jump in here for 1 minute. That is our drop completed. It's settling out from, I actually had to put some of the fluid into this little jar because we had too much, but we're letting it settle out so we can siphon off the copper nitrate. But that is our drop from batch number 4. I am currently filtering out batch number 5, which you can see our color is pretty light. There's a little bit of green, but this is actually really good because it's a clean, very clean fluid. So that should make it for a really good drop. That was number 6, which was the 220 grams of just the rounds. It is also very clean. You can see our colors are actually pretty light. So that should be a pretty high silver yielding fluid. Well, I just wanted to update you real quick and keep this at about a minute. So next time I talk to you, we'll be weighing and finalizing. Back at you in a bit. Okay, everybody. Batches 5 and 6 are currently outside dropping. This is batch 4. It is finally dried out. Batch 4 was the squares and the rectangles. We started with 576.2 grams. So I actually have to use my little plastic jar because I don't believe the scale will weigh it with the beaker because they're over 200 grams. So we're going to go ahead and transfer this into this jar. Okay, guys, we got our silver transferred into this plastic jar. I'm going to go ahead and weigh it again. I just checked it, but I'm going to check it again for a second time. This was our starting weight. So we have 520.7. One more time, 520.7 minus the weight of the jar, 34.17 equals 486.53. 486.53, 576.2 equals 84.4%, which I have, so I've double checked myself. Everything is good. These actually yielded just a hair better, about 0.5% better than the U-shaped ones. There was some solder and junk on them as well. Now also we are doing all these figures without any of the weight of the filters or solid material that's still outside. So when I do a final tally, I'll do that. I'm going to go ahead and let you go because I didn't want to keep this real, I want to keep this part very short because I still have 2 more batches to weigh up. So we will get back at you when batch 5 and 6 are ready to be weighed. Okay, guys, we are done drying batch number 5. I actually took batch number 4 out of this plastic jar and put it in this jar. I don't know if you can see how pretty that is, but that's really pretty stuff. All of these came out much better than I expected as far as being clean. So we're going to put that one up there and this one, and then we are going to go ahead and weigh this batch. We started with 614.4 grams. I'm thinking this scale will weigh it. I'm going to try and just put it all in here and see. I'm not positive. It's still warm. I don't know for sure if it's gonna, if it'll weigh it yet or not. So we have 517.37 minus the weight of the jar. 517.37 minus 34.17 equals 483.17 So we have that much there. Now let's see what we have in this little guy. It's just enough to put us over. We have 94.54. So 94.54 minus the weight of this beaker, which is 51, minus 51.32 equals 43.22. 43.22. So we will put this into here. So that gives us 526.42 refined. 526.42 refined. All right. So now let's take 526.42 divided by 614.4 equals 85.6%. So 85.6% recovery. See, I picked them out just right. I'm not patting myself on the back, but now if this next batch comes out a little higher than 85.6, I chose them in the proper order as far as recovery wise. So that is batch number 5. Batch number 6 is right here. Another beautiful drop. It is on my burner drying. Hopefully we will get to that tonight. And we'll get back at you with that weight and the final weights and the split. And we'll be done with this segment, and then we'll be moving on to the melt and the pours. So we'll be back at you as soon as that stuff gets dried and I can get it weighed. Okay, it's the final tally time. This is batch 6. It is finished and dried. So here we go. Batch 6 weighs 238. 238.19. 238.19 minus 51.32 for the beaker gives us a refined weight of 186.87 refined. All right. We have to beat 85.6% for my order to have been exactly correct. So divided by 217.6 equals 85.8%. So the order was exact from worst to best. The way we had them picked out, the way I had picked them out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now, real quick, let us do our final tally. So that goes with that. That's our 217 that we started with. And then we'll do the division. So that was 82.5. Let me pause for just a second, and I'm going to figure up the ratios from beginning to end. Okay, we had a grand total recovery of 82.9%. We started out at 43% with the first batch. We moved up to 61%, then 77.7%, then 81%, then 82.5%, and then the end total is 82.9%. So we almost had an 83% recovery. Our waste products, let me put this on here, turn that on. There is 6 filters in here and a bag, so this will give us our dry waste or our undissolved waste. Comes to 10.03 grams. 10.03 plus our tungsten, which was 34.41, 34.41 plus 10.03 equals, so we had a total undissolved weight of 44.44 grams. Divided by 31.1 equals, which is 1.43 troy ounces. 1.43 troy ounces did not dissolve. The rest was copper, lead, tin, whatever. But still, we had a really good yield, so we had 82.9%. I'm going to go ahead and pause again for a second, do the split, show you what's mine, and show you what is his. Alrighty guys, there's the final tally. Naturally, that's Derek's beaker. That's my beaker. Derek ended up with approximately 40.5 ounces troy. I ended up with about 13.5 ounces troy. Now we're going to pour him probably a couple 500 or half kilo bars out of this, simply because my kiln only goes to a kilo in gold, which is about a half a kilo in silver, so I have to pour half kilo bars. And also his shipping, insurance, you know, signature confirmation, everything will also come out of this end. But that is the final refine. Those are the final weights. So there we have it. That gets put in my little batch. This will get melted down into probably 2 to 3 bars, just depending. And we will see you guys in the melt video. So that wraps it up. This refine is done. We totaled out at an 82.9% recovery, almost 83% recovery off of those. And that was really good because we had a lot of tin and lead, or we had a lot of lead. We had this little bit of tungsten, not a whole bunch of undissolvable material, but all this will be returned to Derek with his bars. So guys, I will see you in the melt video. I hope you enjoyed this refine. Stick around for the last one, because that's the fun part, melting it and pouring it. And we'll see you guys in the next video.